Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times to discuss books and horror. And today I'm here to let you know the books that I am going to try to read in the month of February.
It's coffee time.
So this year I am kind of slower when it comes to the reading. I find that especially the first weeks of January were really hard on me because, like I said, I didn't start the year in the best mental state, and it's okay, I'm a lot better now, but I felt like that did impact my reading, so I have been catching up with my January reads. So there are a couple of books that I still have not managed to read in January that I have pushed to February, and I'm gonna be, try to be kind to myself in February and see how many I get to read, but I'm not gonna put too much pressure on myself if I don't finish them. Also in February, I'm gonna go to Germany for a fantasy film festival that I've been invited to, and I'm really excited about that as well, but it also means that whole long weekend I don't have time to read it all. But let's talk now about the books that I plan to read in February. Also, we got a new kitten. This is Van Helsing. He's 9 months old. He comes from Romania, and that's also been a lot of work lately. So the first book that I plan to read in February, because I refuse to postpone these any longer, is Lockwood and Co. By Jonathan Stroud. The first book is called The Screaming Staircase, and the TV show on Netflix just dropped, I think, on the 27th of January. So I was hoping, to have read the book by then, but I haven't read it yet, so I'm gonna have to wait for February to watch the first season of the show because I really want to read the book first, especially since I already have it and it has been recommended to me because this is fantasy, but it is dark. I don't know too much about the plot, to be honest, but I kind of like it that way. I don't want to know too much before I go into it. I do know that we are following a story in which we have ghosts, and basically the dead have come back to hunt the living, and that's something that we enjoy. We love ghosts in our horror. Basically, the country for the past 50 years have been infested by ghosts, and we have some characters now that are basically ghost hunters, I believe. And I don't know, I'm really excited about it, and I haven't read a fantasy in a long time. I feel like this one being like more like a horror fantasy, because we deal with ghosts, might be something down my alley, and it's also a book series, so I have other books to look forward to if I really enjoy the first one. As I've mentioned before, this has been recommended to me multiple times. I met the author last summer in the UK, and he signed the books for me, so it's like I feel really it is time for me to start the series. The next one is currently on the mail on its way to me, and that is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I have been really anticipating this book. Grady Hendrix is an author that it is quite kind of a hit or miss for me. It's real weird. I've explained this before, but it's like I really enjoy his books, but I don't absolutely love them. But there is something that compels me to keep reading his books. There's something about, his stories that I want to read them. So this one is on its way to me, and it should be here really soon, so it will be here on time for me to start it for February. We follow two siblings that lost their parents during the pandemic that happened in 2020. I'm trying not to say too many words to be demonetized, but basically you all know what I'm talking about. So basically the parents perished, and the two siblings, they don't really see eye to eye. They're really different, but they are now forced to kind of get along. And the economy is not the best. We all know this, inflation and stuff. Going grocery shopping is not as fun as it used to be. So they basically still have this asset that is the family home. So I'm guessing they're gonna try to sell it, but it's haunted. I mean, that's what the title says. But as we know from Grady Hendrix, this is going to be horror combined with humor. So he does have a lot of fun moments in his books, and that is the part where it might be a hit or miss for a lot of people. Honestly, I'm really excited because I love haunted houses stories, and I would really love to see what he did with this one. Next is a book that I just got in the mail, and that is The Drift by CJ Tudor. I had this one on pre-order and it finally made its way to me. She's a British author, and her first thriller was The Chalkman, who was really well received, and she has been publishing a thriller every year. So I'm really excited about this one because I have enjoyed all of her stories, and I love how different they are and how different the horror is in every single one of her thrillers, because even though they are thrillers, they do have horror elements. Again, I don't know much about this one. I know that it's told through multiple perspectives, and I know that it deals a little bit with an apocalyptic situation and a blizzard or a snowstorm. That's all I know, kind of. But yeah, I'll probably do some reading vlogs maybe on the new releases to help you guys maybe know if it's gonna be for you or not. I do want this year to try and do separate book reviews, spoiler free, really short, about new releases, to kind of help you guys decide if it's a book that you would like to pick up or not. So I will give you a bit more detail on the book, but without any major big spoilers. So everybody that wants to know more about the book can check those videos out and decide if they want to purchase the books or not. Next is a book that I'm really excited about because I want to read this one for Valentine's week, and that is Double Date by Errol Stein. So this is about a guy that is very, you know, fond of himself. He looks really good, and that is why he can have any girl he wants. So basically then a set of twins moves to Shadyside, and he is bragging to his friends that he's gonna make both the girls fall in love with him. Really excited about this one. Like I said, this is gonna be perfect for Valentine's week. Moving on to a book that I kind of wanted to leave for Halloween, but I kind of want to read it already, and that is The House in the Woods by Yvette Fielding. This is book number 1 in the Ghost Hunter Chronicles, and that is a middle grade horror, and I wanted to keep it for Halloween because this is based on Halloween night and a group of friends that decide to play with a Ouija board. What a good idea. They also decide to play with a Ouija board in an abandoned house, like I said, on Halloween, which, why would you tempt, you know, like your odds with that? Like, not a good decision. We all know this. But anyways, they're kids, so I understand, you know, they don't know what they're doing. So after they do that, a spirit follows them home. That's what I know, but I'm really excited. I picked this one up also in the UK when I was young, by the publisher, and I'm just really excited because this is also a series, so if I really enjoy the first one, then I can keep reading it. Another book that I hope to have time to read in February is The Exorcist House by Nick Roberts, because this is a book, I think it came out last year, and I picked it up because I am still hoping to find more excellent books about exorcisms. Believe it or not, there are not so many out there, and I feel like it's because of the power of The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. That was such a masterpiece when it comes to exorcisms that I don't feel like any movie has ever came close to that. And the book was also absolutely amazing. I know they're doing a remake of the movie, and I'm a little bit upset about it. It's also going to be directed by David Gordon Green, who did the last trilogy of Halloween movies, which I hated. So I'm kind of sad, but anyways, we're not here to talk about movies, we're here to talk about the book. So psychologist Daniel Hill decides to buy a house in 1994, and this house, on the basement, there was rumors that the people that lived there before him used to perform exorcisms on that very basement. So I'm really excited to figure out what actually happened in that basement. How did those exorcisms work? I don't know, I'm really excited. This is a book that I haven't really heard people talking about or reviewing or anything, so I really want to get into it. And last but definitely not least, I'm going to be reading The Witchery by S. Isabel. So Amy McCall has started a new book club. It's just started in January 2023, and it is the YA book club. So every month they're going to be reading a YA book, and this month they decided to pick The Witchery because it has a little bit of fantasy in it, but it still has some horror because we are obviously talking about witches. All I know is that we're following here a group of witches that live in a town that has been cursed. and every year something happens and it's kind of like a recurring curse, so they're trying to break it. So I'm really excited to check it out and read about, you know, spooky haunted places and witches. And if you also would like to read a little bit more of YA this year, consider joining the book club. I'm gonna leave the link to the Goodreads book club discussion thread down below. You can vote for every month's book, and also at the end of every month Amy hosts like a live show to talk and discuss the book that, you know, we all read together that month. So if it's something that you're interested in, make sure to check it out. And that was it. Those are the books that I'm planning to read in February. Hopefully I will get to the majority of them. I'm just, you know, hoping for the best in February. We shall see, but I'm really intrigued and interested about all of these ones. There's also a couple of new releases which I want to try to read, new releases this year as well, to let you guys know if it's worth your time or not, because there's so many books coming out and you're always wondering which one is going to be the good one, which one is going to be the more interesting one. So I'm going to try to review as many new releases as I can this year. Alright you guys, thank you as always so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in our next coffee time. Bye!